This is absolutely insane. This is about to change the game of AI text to video generation forever. Let me show you why. Roughly a year ago, this is what we were proudly calling our AI text to video generation. This is the rock eating rocks. And I would say, depending on the type of result that the person who prompted this video was trying to get, this would have been more or less on the lower to middle end in terms of the quality of the outputs that we were getting from these AI generation tools. Now, if we move on to tools like Runway ML, this is more on what we'd until now classed as the higher end of text to video AI content. And what I mean by this, by the way, I don't mean content that comes from stock videos that are pulled from different websites, like on services like Pictory.ai or services like InVideo. I mean videos that are generated from scratch, from the ground up, using said tool. So Runway ML, really good tool. However, you could only create only a few seconds of video at a time, and even then, they're not always to the extent or to the quality that you'd like the tool to be, and you have to keep reprompting and regenerating videos until you get to the said result. Enter OpenAI with their new Sora model. Let me show you an example of what this thing can generate. This is a video of a woman walking down a Tokyo street filled with warm, glowing neon and animated city signage. Now, a couple of things that I'm obviously going to point out, apart from just how ridiculously high quality this is. This is not a real human being. This is all AI generated. Insane. Notice the number of subjects that are moving independently in the video. Notice the reflections. Notice her and her movements. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Also notice how long this video is. This is 59 seconds long, and this is all come from a single prompt. As you can see there, a stylish woman walks down a Tokyo street filled with warm, glowing neon and animated city signage. She wears a black leather jacket, long dress, black boots, and carries a black purse. She wears sunglasses and red lipstick. She walks confidently and casually. The street is damp and reflective, creating a mirror effect of the colorful lights. Many pedestrians walk around. It's just crazy for me that not only is the main subject moving perfectly like a human being would, but the additional subjects in the picture as well are moving independently. Everything around this character is behaving as it should, all from a single prompt. Not to mention again that it's 59 seconds long. So essentially you could easily have a 10-minute long YouTube quality video from 10 different prompts, if not less, because I can imagine that this will get to a point where you can prompt out a 10-minute video in a few short months now, which is just absolutely ridiculous. Let's take a look at another one. This is a historical footage video of California during the gold rush, and this is how AI has imagined that. Again, it's just absolutely insane. The fact that they filmed it in the type of video style or effect that would have fit that era is absolutely beyond me. Look at all the different subjects and all the different items within the image moving independently. It's just absolutely crazy. And this is a 24-second long generation, and the only prompt that they've put in was historical footage of California during the gold rush. That's it. I mean, this this is just absolutely crazy. So when you think about use cases for a tool like this, if, for example, you're a faceless content creator, if you think about horror stories, Reddit stories, history, sci-fi, kids cartoons, there's no reason why you can't jump on a tool like this and generate such content from the ground up. If you're a short form content creator, if you're a long form content creator, if you're a business looking for some stock footage for your advertising, if you're starting an AI video gen app, or if you've been looking to get into the game of AI text to video generation and you've just not known how, I can imagine that OpenAI will make an API available that you can plug into and connect that onto your own app that you've created or your own website that you've created and start selling these services as your own. If you're someone that uses stock footage websites or someone that sells stock footage on stock footage websites, if you're someone that a gaming developer, this is absolutely perfect for imagining worlds for games and getting the concept to be created and generated using a tool like this. If you're a videographer or a movie maker, with the clips that we're now able to generate becoming longer and longer, there's no reason you can't now get your foot in the door, start generating clips, start with short, maybe 10-minute videos, and start building up from there. As time goes on, as these tools get crazier and better, you can only imagine that you'll be able to create longer and longer and longer and higher quality and more realistic clips. The list goes on. The applications are virtually endless. Let's go ahead and check out another one as well. So there's this one here where the camera follows behind a white vintage SUV. I'm just reading out the prompts here as well, by the way. You can see them at the bottom. With a black roof rack as it speeds up a steep dirt road surrounded by pine trees on a steep mountain slope. Dust kicks up from its tires. The sunlight shines on the SUV as it speeds along the dirt road, casting a warm glow over the scene. The dirt road curves gently into the distance with no other cars or vehicles in sight. The trees on either side of the road are redwoods with patches of greenery scattered throughout. The car is seen from the rear, following the curve with ease, making it seem as if it is on a rugged drive through the rugged terrain. The dirt road itself is surrounded by steep hills and mountains with a clear blue sky above with wispy clouds. This is absolutely insane. If you look at it, I mean, I can see this being used in a gaming style video with the type of footage that it is. But the detail in this is just absolutely crazy. I mean, a few short years ago, you would have had to pay a team of people at least 6 figures to come up with something like this, even if it's a fairly short amount of video footage for a game. But now, at the cost of what's potentially, I'm guessing this is probably going to come out on ChatGPT, the paid version, at some point. I can imagine that they may be going to include it in the current subscription or maybe just add. I've got no idea, but I can imagine that this is only going to be available at a cost of just a few dollars per month, and you'll be able to create multiple generations of this quality, which is just absolutely crazy. You've also got here tour of an art gallery with many beautiful works of art in different styles. This is a 19-second generation. Again, the detail in this, and what I'm finding fascinating and amazing is where, in my personal experience and the AI tools that I've come across, where AI has struggled is putting in enough detail on independent subjects within either an image or a video. But this doesn't seem to have a problem. All the independent portraits in the art gallery are all just within their own rights. They're not perfect, but they've all got their own detail. They've all got enough to be classed as independent portraits, whereas before, a lot of them would have been blurred. A lot of them you wouldn't have been able to make out anything. Again, just a few short months to a year ago, this is what we classed as good AI video. Will Smith eating spaghetti, text to video AI. I mean, you can obviously see the flaws in this. I'm not going to delve into that too much. It's to go from something like this to being able to create and prompt out videos like this. And what's key is we're using just natural language here. We're not having to use some advanced prompting techniques. We're not having to use a page-long prompt. We're not having to visit different prompt creators and prompt tools. You're literally just telling the tool, give me a tour of an art gallery with many beautiful works of art in different styles, and you're getting something like this. It's obviously not perfect. We've got a step sprinting scene of a person running, cinematic film shot in 35mm. You can obviously see what's not right with this one, but again, if you look at the detail and the quality of the video itself, never mind that the fact that is running the wrong way on this treadmill and the treadmill seems to be in the wrong position, that's still pretty crazy. And another one here, the camera directly faces colorful buildings in Burano, Italy. An adorable Dalmatian looks through the window on a building. On the ground floor, many people are walking and cycling along the canal streets in front of the buildings. The vibrancy and the color that you can see in these videos, the quality and the realism in it as well. Obviously, depending on the style of video that you're looking for, you can also get videos that are not as realistic depending on what you prompt out. Look at this one here, for example, which is an adorable happy otter confidently standing on a surfboard wearing a yellow life jacket, riding along turquoise tropical waters near lush tropical islands. 3D digital rendering art style. And this ties back to my point about being able to create animated and kids videos as well. And if you look at how long this generation is, this is 16 seconds. Again, you're most likely going to be able to create even longer generations here. Everything, the detail is rich, everything in the video is reacting as it should. If you look at the eyes, the reflection, it's just absolutely, you've got here the close-up shot of a chameleon showcasing its striking colors. I will leave this in the description, by the way, the link to this tool, so you can go and check it out yourself. But here, a white and orange tabby cat happily darting through a dense garden as if chasing something. Its eyes are wide and happy as it jogs forward, scanning the branches, flowers and leaves as it walks. That is a 26-second generation. Everything is updating as the cat moves along. The detail, the quality is still there. Again, ultra realistic. There's no telling that this was not filmed by some high quality camera somewhere. It's really, really hard to tell. In fact, if you saw this on YouTube or somewhere else and someone didn't tell you that this was an AI generation, personally, I would find it very difficult to dispute that. It's stupidly high quality. We've got here an aerial view of Santorini during the blue hour, showcasing the stunning architecture of white Cycladic, I'm probably butchering that, Cycladic buildings with blue domes. The caldera views are breathtaking and the lighting creates a beautiful, serene atmosphere. This could have been filmed by a drone. If you're someone, for example, that creates music, relaxing, chilled house music mixes on YouTube, having just a bunch of generations like this and just looping them over and over again, you've already got yourself a 1 hour, 2 hour long mix that you can put on YouTube with some absolutely stunning visuals to go with your music. This is just, the use cases and the applications are just absolutely mad. We can see here a tilt shift of a construction site filled with workers, equipment and heavy machinery. This is filmed as if it's filmed from above, from a drone, but again, this is just like a one-line prompt that's come up with like nearly 10-second long video. Again, you can make this longer if you wanted to, but the quality of that and the flexibility and being able to change the result to fit in with your narrative, to fit in with the type of video. This could be claymation, this could be animated, this could be in black and white, this could be historic, whatever you can imagine out of your head, as it's now become easier to get that to come to life using tools like Sora. Now, in terms of availability, this is currently being tested by a internal team at OpenAI, so it's not publicly available yet. They've said that it's available to a select group of trusted content creators as well, but I can imagine it's not going to be long before this actually comes out. And yeah, there's a lot of information on the website as well that explains how OpenAI have gone about done this. Some people are saying this is as big as when ChatGPT first came out. This shows how much text to video generation with AI has taken yet another leap compared to tools that are existing currently at the moment. This is a huge leap, and you can imagine a year from now, this is most likely going to be the baseline. There's going to be a version 6, version 7 of this, and the worst tool I can imagine out there is probably going to be creating videos like this. Higher and higher we go. We've got here several giant woolly mammoths approaching and treading through snowy meadow. Their long woolly fur lightly blowing in the wind as they walk, snow-covered trees and dramatic snow. 10 seconds long. One of their best, in my opinion, or one of the highest quality ones that they've come out with here. All of them look pretty ridiculous, but we've got here a movie trailer featuring the adventures of the 30-year-old spaceman wearing a red wool knitted motorcycle helmet, blue sky, salt desert, cinematic style shot on a 35mm film, vivid colors. Again, if you came to me and said, have you seen this movie trailer? I would not dispute that this is a real human being and this was filmed from a camera. The fact that this has come from the brain of AI, yes, it was trained by humans, but the detail in the man's face, the detail in the surroundings, the detail in the clothes, the helmet, the suit that he's wearing, the environment that he's walking in, I can see that in the future, we already have some ultra realistic, high quality 8K video graphics, but I can see that in the near future, in fact, a couple of months, weeks from now, we're going to have games that look realistic, that look as if it's a movie that you're watching, except it's a game that you're controlling, that look cinematic, that look real, obviously, in terms of, you know, games that have a higher age rating and stuff like that, like, you know, Call of Duty with a lot of blood and stuff like that. On them, they're going to have to be really careful in terms of regulating and making sure that they've put the right safety measures in place, because everything is going to look ultra realistic, like an actual person being shot and stuff like that. Drone view of waves crashing against the rugged cliffs along Big Sur Garry Point Beach. The crushing blue waters create white tipped waves while the golden light of the setting sun illuminates the rocky shore. Again, linking back to my example about maybe if you're someone that creates chilled, relaxing music for YouTube, or, you know, you run a podcast or a radio station or something like that, who would be able to argue with you and say this is not footage that has been shot on a drone? Obviously, it is AI generated. We love the fact that it's AI generated, but it's that realistic that it could easily sit along something that's been filmed by a realistic drone nowadays. You could even mix this stuff up with actual stock footage of other amazing, breathtaking videos that have been used and filmed by real drones. And the applications are endless. An animated scene featuring a close-up of a short fluffy monster kneeling beside a melting red candle. Gorgeously rendered papercraft world of coral reef. Again, you can make this to what you want. It doesn't have to be like ultra realistic human beings. It can be papercraft as well. It can be animated. It can be whatever your vision comes up with, essentially. Photorealistic close-up video of two pirate ships battling each other as they sail inside a cup of coffee. 15-second long generation. Imagine if you had an advert as a business that you wanted to put out there. You're a coffee maker, and now you can easily create something like this. Got a young man here in his 20s sitting on a piece of cloud in the sky reading a book. You could not tell me that this is not, honestly, without knowing that this came from a tool like this. Yes, there are little telltale signs that it may have been an AI generated tool, but if you came to someone and said, what do you think to this video? It was filmed, you know, here in my city. Do you know this guy? Have you seen him before? That person the first response wouldn't be that it's AI generated. I mean, there are telltale signs if you are someone that's looking at it from an AI text video generation perspective. Obviously, it's not perfect. The pages on the book, you know, there's some funky movement there. But if you're someone that wasn't looking at it from the lens of AI text video generation, it's very, in my opinion, it just would be very, very hard to tell. And yeah, what do you guys think of this new tool? I mean, what type of videos do you make? And do you think this is going to fit in nicely with the type of content that you make? Where do you guys think the future of AI text to video generation is going? In a few months' time or in a few years' time, where do you think video generation is going to be? How much of a disruption is this going to cause in the AI text to video generation, in the movie generation? Hollywood, Bollywood, Disney being able to easily create content like this at a ridiculously cheap scale as well, without having to spend thousands or tens of thousands paying people to create it, how much do you think that is going to interrupt the industry as a whole? Is this a tool that you're excited to try as well? Are you going to tell people about this? And let me know in the comments. On the subject of text to video generation tools using single prompts, there's a video that's on the screen right now where I explore another text to video generation tool. I'm very picky when it comes to these tools, but this is another highly recommended tool that allows you to generate entire videos, 30 seconds, a minute, sometimes even up to 10 minutes as well, using a single prompt.